Hello, everyone. Have you ever wanted to start something new? Maybe you wanted to study English. Maybe you wanted to exercise. Maybe you wanted to read more books. You had a good plan. You really wanted to begin. But then you said, I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow came. And you said it again. I will start tomorrow. Many of us do this. We want to change. But we always have a reason to wait. I am too busy. I am too tired. I do not have enough time. I am not ready. These reasons can feel real. Sometimes they are real. Life is busy. We get tired. We have work to do. We have problems. But sometimes a reason becomes an excuse. An excuse is something we use to stop ourselves from starting. It makes waiting feel okay. We say, I cannot start today. So we wait. But the next day, there is another reason. Then another. Days pass. Weeks pass. Nothing changes. Think about something you wanted to do. Maybe you wanted to learn a new skill. At first, you felt excited. You made a plan. You thought, this time I will really do it. Then the day came. You were tired. So you said not today. The next day, you were busy. Maybe tomorrow. Then the weekend came. You wanted to rest. I will start next week. Slowly, the dream became smaller. Not because you could not do it. You simply never started. This is the danger of excuses. Excuses do not always sound bad. They often sound smart. They say, wait for a better time. Start when you have more energy. Start when life is easier. This sounds reasonable. But when will life become perfect? There may always be work. There may always be problems. You may always feel tired sometimes. If you wait for the perfect day, you may wait for a very long time. Maybe you think you need 1 free hour to study English. But today, you only have 10 minutes. So you do nothing. You think 10 minutes is too short? But 10 minutes is better than 0. You can learn 5 words. You can listen to a short story. You can read 1 page. Small action is still action. An excuse says it is not enough. But change begins with what you can do now. Imagine a person who wants to walk every morning. On the first day, it is cold. So the person stays home. The next day, they wake up late. They stay home again. Then it rains. Another day passes. Every reason makes sense. But after 1 month, the person is still in the same place. Now imagine another person. It is cold, but they walk for 5 minutes. The next day, they are busy. So they walk for 10 minutes. It rains the next day. They stay inside and move their body for a short time. This person is not perfect, but they keep moving. After 1 month, the 2 people are very different. One person had many reasons. The other person took small actions. This is an important lesson. You do not need to do a lot. You need to begin. Maybe you are waiting to feel ready. You think, I will start when I feel more confident. But confidence often comes after you begin. Before you start, everything feels difficult. You do not know what will happen. You are afraid of mistakes, so you wait. But waiting does not remove the fear. Sometimes waiting makes the fear bigger. The first step is often the hardest. After that, the next step can feel easier. Think about learning English. Maybe you are afraid to speak. You think your English is not good enough, so you stay quiet. You say, I will speak when my English is better. But how will your speaking become better if you never speak? You do not need perfect English. Start with 1 sentence. Make a mistake. Try again. That small action can teach you more than waiting. Excuses often protect us from uncomfortable feelings. We do not want to feel tired. We do not want to fail. We do not want to look bad. So we find a reason not to begin. The excuse makes us feel safe, but only for a short time. Later, we may feel something worse. We feel sorry. We think, I should have started earlier. Maybe you know this feeling. You look back and think, I had so much time. But at that time, you always felt busy. This can happen again. 1 year from now, you may look back at today. What do you want to see? Do you want to see another year of waiting? Or do you want to see one small beginning? You do not need to change your whole life today. That idea can become another excuse. You think, the change is too big, so you do nothing. Make the action smaller. Do not say, I will study English for 2 hours every day. Say, I will study for 10 minutes today. Do not say, I will read 50 books. Say, I will read 1 page. Do not say, I will change my whole life. Say, I will do one small thing. Small actions are easier to start. And starting is what matters. Maybe your mind will still give you excuses. I am tired. I can do it later. Today is not a good day. Listen to the excuse. Then ask one simple question. What can I do now? Maybe you cannot do everything. That is okay. Can you do 5 minutes? Can you take one step? Can you begin in a small way? Many times the answer is yes. You may be tired, but you can still do something small. You may be busy, but maybe you can find 10 minutes. You may be afraid, but you can still take one step. This does not mean you should never rest. Rest is important. Sometimes you really need to stop. Sometimes your body needs sleep. Sometimes life is too difficult. Be kind to yourself, but learn to see the difference. Are you resting because you need rest? Or are you waiting because you do not want to begin? Only you can answer that question. Be honest with yourself. You do not need to feel bad. You do not need to blame yourself for the past. The past is finished. Look at today. What excuse are you using now? Maybe you say, I have no time. Can you find 5 minutes? Maybe you say, I do not know how. Can you learn one small thing? Maybe you say, I am not good enough. Can you try anyway? You do not need every answer before you start. You can learn while you move. You can become better while you practice. You can find the next step after you take the first one. A road does not need to be easy before you begin walking. You only need to see the next step. Then take it. Tomorrow, take another one. This is how change begins. Not with a perfect plan. Not with a perfect day. Not with a life without problems. Change begins when you stop waiting and do something small. So think about one thing you have been waiting to do. Do not make a big plan. Do not promise to change everything. Choose one small action. Something you can do today. Something you can do now. Then begin. Your excuse may still be there. Let it talk. You do not need to fight with it. You only need to move. 1 page. 5 minutes. 1 sentence. 1 small step. That is enough for today. You can do more tomorrow. But today, begin. Because excuses can keep you waiting for years. And one small action can finally move you forward. You do not need the perfect time. You do not need to feel ready. You only need to stop waiting for a moment and take the first step. Maybe you are waiting for the right time. You want to start something. But today feels too busy. So you say, I will do it later. Next week looks better. Next month looks even better. You think you will have more time then. You think you will have more energy. You think life will be easier, but the perfect time may never come. Life keeps moving. There is always something to do. There is always a new problem. There is always a reason to wait. Maybe you want to study English, but work is busy this week. So you wait. Next week you have family plans. You wait again. Then you feel tired. Another week passes. You are still waiting. The problem is simple. You are looking for a perfect day. A day with no problems. A day with lots of free time. A day when you feel ready. But most days are not like that. Real life is often busy. Some days are good. Some days are hard. Some days you have energy. Some days you do not. If you only act on perfect days, you may not act very often. You need to learn how to begin on normal days. A normal day may be busy. A normal day may feel difficult. You may only have a little time. That is okay. You can still do something. Think about a person who wants to read more. They say, I need one quiet hour. But they never find that hour. So they do not read. The book stays on the table. Now imagine another person. They only have 10 minutes. So they read for 10 minutes. The next day, they read for 5 minutes. On the weekend, they read more. This person did not wait for the perfect time. They used the time they had. After 1 month, they finished the book. The first person is still waiting. This is an important difference. You do not always need more time. Sometimes you need to use the time you already have. Maybe it is only 5 minutes. Maybe it is 10 minutes. Small time can still help you move forward. Do not look at what you cannot do. Look at what you can do. Maybe you cannot exercise for 1 hour. Can you move for 10 minutes? Maybe you cannot study 20 new words. Can you learn 3 words? Maybe you cannot clean your whole room. Can you clean one small place? Start there. Small action is not a waste of time. It is still action. But your mind may say, that is not enough. You may think a small step does not matter. So you wait for a bigger chance. Be careful. This can become another excuse. 5 minutes today is better than 1 hour that never comes. 1 page today is better than a book you never start. 1 step today is better than a perfect plan for next month. You do not need to move fast. You only need to move. Maybe you are also waiting to feel ready. You think, I will start when I feel strong. I will start when I am not afraid. I will start when I know more. But feeling ready is not always the first step. Sometimes action comes first. Then you begin to feel ready. Think about your first day at a new job. Maybe you felt nervous. You did not know everything. You made small mistakes, but you went to work. You learned. Day by day, things became easier. You did not wait until you knew everything. You learned by doing. Many things in life work this way. You start. You learn. You make mistakes. You try again. Then you get better. But if you wait until you are perfect, you cannot begin. And if you never begin, you cannot learn. So do not ask, am I completely ready? Ask, can I take 1 step? That is a better question. Maybe you are afraid of making a mistake. You want to choose the perfect way. You want the perfect plan. So you spend a lot of time thinking. You watch videos. You read advice. You make lists. but you still do not begin. Learning is good. Planning is good. But at some point, you need to act. You will never know everything before you start. Some lessons only come after action. You need to try. You need to see what works. You need to see what does not work. Then you can change your plan. A simple plan that you use is better than a perfect plan that stays on paper. Remember that. Maybe your first step will not be great. That is okay. The first step does not need to be great. It only needs to happen. Your first English sentence may have a mistake. Say it anyway. Your first day of exercise may be short. Do it anyway. Your first plan may change later. Start anyway. You are allowed to begin badly. You are allowed to learn slowly. You are allowed to change as you go. Many people think successful people always know what to do. But often they do not. They begin. They learn. They keep moving. They do not wait for every problem to disappear. This is something you can practice too. Look at your life now. Maybe it is not perfect. Maybe you are busy. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you have problems. You can still ask, what is one small thing I can do today? Not next week. Not next month. Today. The answer may be very small. That is fine. Small is easy to begin. And once you begin, something changes. You are no longer only thinking. You are moving. This can give you energy. Maybe you study English for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you want to continue. Maybe you walk for 10 minutes. Then you feel good. Maybe you write one sentence. Then another sentence comes. Starting can make the next step easier. But you cannot feel that before you begin. You need to take the first step. Of course, some days you really need rest. You do not need to push yourself every day. You are human. Rest is part of life. But be honest. Are you resting? Or are you waiting for a perfect day? There is a difference. Rest helps you return. Waiting without action keeps you in the same place. If you need rest, rest. Then begin again. Do not turn one day of rest into 1 month of waiting. You can always return. You can always take another small step. Maybe yesterday was difficult. Today is a new day. Maybe last week you did nothing. Start now. You do not need to wait for Monday. You do not need to wait for a new month. You do not need a new year. Today can be a beginning. This moment can be enough. You already have something you can use. A little time, a little energy, a small chance. Use what you have. Do what you can. Then come back tomorrow. This is how real change often happens. Not in one big moment. Not on one perfect day. But on many normal days. A little work today. Another small step tomorrow. Then another. After some time, you look back. You see that you have moved. You see that you have learned. You see that you are not in the same place anymore. All because you stopped waiting for the perfect time. So think about the thing you want to start. What are you waiting for? More time? More energy? More confidence? A better day? Maybe those things will come. Maybe they will not. Do not give them control of your life. Use today. Use the time you have. Start small. Learn as you go. You do not need the perfect time. You need a real beginning. And a real beginning can happen on a normal day. A busy day. A difficult day. Even today. So stop waiting for everything to feel right. Choose one small action. Then do it. The perfect time may never come, but this moment is already here. Thinking is easy. Planning is easy too. But action is different. Action makes things move. Maybe you have a goal. You want to study English. You want to exercise. You want to save money. You want to learn something new. You think about it often. You make plans. You tell yourself, I will start soon. But a plan cannot change your life by itself. You need action. Even a very small action can be stronger than a big plan. Think about learning English. You may have a beautiful notebook. You may have many books. You may watch videos about how to study. You may make a long study plan. But if you never study, nothing changes. Now imagine another person. This person has no big plan. They study for 10 minutes today. They learn 3 new words. Tomorrow they listen to a short English story. The next day they read 1 page. The actions are small, but they are real. After 1 month, who has moved forward? The person who took action. This is why small action matters. You do not need to do something big. You need to do something real. Excuses live in your mind. Action happens in your life. Your mind may say, I am too tired. Action says, I can do 5 minutes. Your mind may say, I do not know enough. Action says, I can learn 1 thing. Your mind may say, I am afraid. Action says, I can still take 1 step. You do not need to win a big fight with your excuses. Just make your actions smaller. Maybe 30 minutes feels too hard. Do 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes feels too hard. Do 5. Maybe you cannot read 10 pages. Read 1 page. Maybe you cannot clean the whole room. Clean 1 small place. Small action is not weak. Small action helps you begin. And beginning is important. Many people stop because they look too far ahead. They think about everything they need to do. The goal looks very big. Then they feel tired before they even start. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. You look at the top. It feels very far away. You think, I cannot do this. But you do not need to jump to the top. You only need to take the next step, then another step, then another. The mountain is still big, but your job is small. Take the next step. Life can work this way too. Do not think about the whole year. Think about today. Do not think about 100 lessons. Think about 1 lesson. Do not think about becoming perfect. Think about getting a little better. Small goals are easier to start. And when you start, you can build something important. A habit. A habit grows when you do something again and again. It does not need to be big. It needs to continue. 5 minutes every day can become a habit. 1 page every night can become a habit. Saving a little money every week can become a habit. Small actions can grow, but an excuse cannot grow into a result. You can say tomorrow 100 times. Nothing changes. You can make 1 small action today. Now something has changed. Maybe the change is very small. That is okay. Small change is still change. Sometimes people do something once and expect a big result. They study English for 1 day. Then they say, my English is still bad. They exercise for 1 week. Then they say, nothing changed? So they stop. But change needs time. A small action is not magic. It does not change everything in 1 day. Its power comes from doing it again, and again, and again. You may not see the result today, but that does not mean nothing is happening. You are learning. You are building a habit. You are becoming a person who takes action. This is very important. Every small action teaches you something. It says, I can begin. It says, I can do a little. It says, I do not need to wait. Maybe yesterday you made an excuse. That is okay. Do not spend today feeling bad about yesterday. Take action now. Maybe last week you stopped studying. Open your book today. Maybe you stopped exercising. Walk for 5 minutes. Maybe you forgot your goal. Remember it now. You can always begin again. You do not need to make a big promise. Sometimes big promises create more pressure. You say, from now on, I will study every day for 2 hours. The plan sounds good. But after 3 days, you become tired. Then you stop. Now you feel bad. Try something smaller. Say, today I will study for 10 minutes. That is all? Tomorrow you can choose again. A small promise is easier to keep. And when you keep a promise to yourself, you begin to trust yourself. This can change how you feel. You say, I said I would do it. And I did it. The action may be small, but the feeling is important. You begin to see yourself differently. You are not only a person with plans. You are a person who acts. This can help you take another step, then another. Slowly you move forward. Maybe your progress is not fast. That is okay. Fast is not always important. Moving is important. A slow person who keeps walking can go far. A person who only thinks about running stays in the same place. So do not worry too much about speed. Ask yourself, am I moving? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, take one small step. Maybe your excuse says, it is too late. But is it really too late to do 5 minutes? Maybe your excuse says, today was a bad day. Can you still do one small thing? Maybe your excuse says, I will do more tomorrow. Why not do a little today? You do not need to be hard on yourself. Speak to yourself kindly. Say, I know you are tired. Let us do one small thing. This is different from forcing yourself. You are not asking for everything. You are asking for one step. Some days you will do more. Some days you will do less. That is normal. The important thing is to return. Do not let one bad day become a bad month. Do not let one mistake become another excuse. You missed one day. Come back. You stopped for 1 week. Come back. You lost your way. Come back. You can always take another step. Maybe you think successful people never stop. That is not true. People get tired. People make mistakes. People lose motivation. The difference is that some people begin again. They do not wait for a perfect new start. They simply return. You can do that too. Today can be your return. This hour can be your return. This moment can be your return. Choose one thing. Make it small. Then do it. Do not think too much. Do not make another long plan. Take action. Open the book. Write the sentence. Put on your shoes. Save a little money. Clean one small place. Do the first thing. Then see what happens. Maybe you will continue. Maybe you will stop after 5 minutes. Both are okay. Because you started, you showed your excuse that action is possible. And next time, starting may feel a little easier. This is how small actions become strong. One action becomes two. Two actions become a habit. A habit can change your days, and your days can change your life. It all begins with something small. So when an excuse comes, do not spend too much time fighting with it. Ask one question. What small thing can I do now? Then do that thing. Not tomorrow. Not when life is perfect. Now. Your action does not need to be big. It does not need to look great. It only needs to be real. Because one real action is stronger than 100 excuses. Maybe you want to do something new, but you do not feel confident. You think, I am not ready. I am not good enough. What if I fail? So you wait. You hope confidence will come first. Then you will begin. But confidence often does not work that way. You do not always feel confident before you act. Sometimes you need to act first. Then confidence begins to grow. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first you are afraid. You do not know how to keep your balance. You may fall. You may make mistakes. But you try. You ride for a short time. Then you try again. Little by little, you get better. One day, riding feels easy. Now you feel confident. But where did that confidence come from? It came from action. You tried. You learned. You got better. Then you began to trust yourself. Many things in life work this way. You do not become confident by waiting. You become confident by doing. Maybe you want to speak English, but you are afraid of mistakes. You think, I need more confidence. So you stay quiet. But staying quiet does not help you feel more confident. You need to speak. Start with one sentence. Maybe the sentence is not perfect. That is okay. You spoke. Then try again. The next time may feel a little easier. After many small tries, something changes. You are still not perfect, but you are less afraid. You begin to think, maybe I can do this. That small thought is confidence. Confidence does not always come in a big moment. It can grow slowly. One small action, one small success, one small lesson, then another. You begin to trust yourself. Maybe you are waiting to feel brave, but you do not need to feel brave all the time. You can feel afraid and still act. This is important. Fear does not mean you must stop. Fear only means something feels new or difficult. You can take one step with fear, then another. Maybe your hands shake. Maybe your heart beats fast. Maybe you feel uncomfortable. That is okay. You can still move. After you act, you learn something. You learn that the fear did not stop you. You learn that you can try. You learn that you can make a mistake and still be okay. This helps confidence grow. Imagine two people who want to try something new. The first person waits. They say, I will begin when I feel ready. Every day they think about starting. But they do nothing. After 1 month, they are still afraid. The second person is afraid too. But they take one small step. The first step is difficult. Then they take another step. They make mistakes. But they keep learning. After 1 month, they are not as afraid as before. What made the difference? Action. The second person did not begin with more confidence. They built confidence by trying. You can do the same. Maybe you think, but what if I fail? You may fail. That is possible. But failure can teach you something. Maybe your plan does not work. Now you know. You can change it. Maybe you make a mistake. Now you can learn from it. A mistake does not mean you should stop. It means you found something to improve. But excuses can make mistakes feel too scary. An excuse says, do not try. You may fail. You may look bad, so you stay safe, but you also stay in the same place. Action says try once, see what happens, learn from it. This does not mean you need to take a big risk. Start small. Do something you can manage. If speaking English is scary, say one sentence. If exercise is difficult, move for 5 minutes. If you want to write one paragraph. Give yourself a small chance to succeed. Then notice what happened. Maybe you think, that was not so bad. Maybe you think, I can do it again. This is how you begin to trust yourself. Trust grows when you keep small promises to yourself. You say, I will study for 10 minutes. Then you study. You say, I will take a short walk. Then you walk. You say, I will start today. Then you start. Each time you send yourself a message. I can trust me. This message is powerful. But when you always make excuses, the opposite can happen. You say, I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. You wait again. After some time, you stop believing your own plans. You think, I always say I will do it, but I never do. This can hurt your confidence. The answer is not a bigger promise. The answer is a smaller action. Do not promise 2 hours. Promise 10 minutes. Do not promise a perfect week. Choose today. Make the promise small enough to keep. Then keep it. You may think 10 minutes is not important, but it is important. You are building trust. You are showing yourself that your words can become actions. Slowly, you begin to see yourself differently. Before, you thought, I never finish anything. Now you think, I can take one step. Before, you thought, I am too afraid. Now you think, I can try even when I am afraid. Before, you thought, I cannot change. Now you see that small change is possible. This is real confidence. It does not mean you think you can do everything. It means you trust yourself to try. You trust yourself to learn. You trust yourself to begin again after a mistake. That kind of confidence can grow very strong. Maybe you stop for a few days. Do not think everything is lost. Come back. Starting again is also an action. Maybe your plan did not work. Make a smaller plan. Maybe you failed. Learn one thing. Then try again. Every return can build confidence too. You begin to understand something. I do not need to be perfect. I only need to keep coming back. This can make action easier. You no longer need to wait for a special feeling. You do not need to wake up full of energy. You do not need to feel brave. You can simply ask, what can I do today? Then do that. Some days you will do a lot. Some days you will do very little. That is normal. Confidence does not come from having perfect days. It comes from seeing yourself continue. You fall. You get up. You stop. You return. You feel afraid. You try anyway. Each time you learn that you can keep moving. So do not wait for confidence to find you. Give confidence a place to grow. Take action. Make it small. Make it real. Then do it again. Maybe today you still feel unsure. That is okay. Choose one thing you have been waiting to do. Do not think about the whole goal. Think about the first step. Can you do it for 5 minutes? Can you write one sentence? Can you learn one thing? Can you try once? Then begin. After you finish, remember what you did. You acted. Maybe it was small, but you did not wait. You did not let the excuse choose for you. You moved. Be proud of that small step. Then come back tomorrow. Take another step. Little by little, you will learn. Little by little, you will improve. And little by little, you will trust yourself more. You do not need confidence before you begin. Begin first. Let action teach you. Let mistakes help you. Let small wins show you what you can do. Confidence is not something you need to wait for. It is something you can build. One action at a time. Maybe you still have excuses. That is okay. You do not need to remove every excuse before you begin. You may still feel tired. You may still feel afraid. You may still think, I can do it tomorrow. But you can hear that thought and still take action. This is the final lesson. Do not wait for excuses to disappear. Start anyway. Maybe you want to study English. Your mind says, I am too tired. You do not need to study for 1 hour. Study for 5 minutes. Maybe you want to exercise. Your mind says, I am too busy. Move your body for 10 minutes. Maybe you want to start a new project. Your mind says, I do not know enough. Learn one small thing today. There is almost always a smaller step. Find it. Then take it. Many people think change begins with a big decision. They say, from tomorrow, everything will be different. They make a big plan. They feel excited. But a few days later, they stop. Real change can be much simpler. You do one small thing today. Then you come back tomorrow. You do it again. Some days are good. Some days are difficult. But you keep returning. This is how you move forward. You do not need a perfect week. You need to return after a bad day. You do not need to feel strong every morning. You need to do what you can. Maybe you miss one day. That is okay. Do not use one missed day as a new excuse. Do not say, I already failed. You did not fail. You missed one day. Come back tomorrow. Maybe you stop for 1 week. Come back again. Maybe you stop for 1 month. You can still return. The door is not closed. You can begin again. Sometimes people wait for a new Monday. They wait for a new month. They wait for a new year. They think a special day will help them change. But today can be your new beginning. It does not matter what day it is. You do not need a special date. You only need one real action. Think about a clock. The clock keeps moving. It does not wait for you to feel ready. 1 hour passes. Then another. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Time keeps moving. You can wait, or you can move with it. You do not need to move fast. Just do not stay in the same place forever. Take one step, then take another when you can. Maybe your progress feels slow. That is okay. Slow progress is still progress. You may look at other people. They seem faster than you. They know more. They have better results. Then you think, why should I even try? Do not let comparison become another excuse. Their road is not your road. Their first day was not today. You do not know how long they have practiced. Look at your own step. What can you do now? That is the only question you need. Maybe the answer is small. Good. Small is enough. You do not need to impress anyone. You only need to move. There may also be days when you really need rest. Rest. Sleep. Take care of yourself. But after you rest, come back. Do not let rest become endless waiting. Ask yourself honestly, do I need more rest? Or, am I afraid to begin again? Be kind with your answer. But be honest too. Sometimes the thing stopping you is not time. It is fear. Sometimes it is not a lack of energy. It is the habit of waiting. Sometimes you already know what to do. You just do not want to take the first step. That is normal. The first step can feel hard, so make it smaller. If you cannot study for 30 minutes, study for 5. If you cannot write one page, write one sentence. If you cannot walk far, walk to the end of the street. Do not ask, "Can I finish everything?" Ask, "Can I begin?" Beginning is enough. Once you begin, you are no longer waiting. You are moving. That small change matters. Maybe you only do 5 minutes, but now you have proof. You can act. You can start. You can do something even when you do not feel ready. Remember the first part of this story. Excuses can sound very reasonable. I am busy. I am tired. I will start tomorrow. We all say these things sometimes. The goal is not to become a person with no excuses. The goal is to stop letting every excuse control you. You can hear the excuse. Then choose your action. I am tired. Okay. I will do 5 minutes. I am busy. Okay. I will do one small thing. I am afraid. Okay. I will try once. This is a simple way to move forward. Do not fight with yourself all day. Do not spend hours trying to feel ready. Use that time for one small action. Action gives you something that thinking cannot. Experience. You learn what is easy. You learn what is hard. You learn what works. Then you can make a better choice tomorrow. Maybe your first plan was too big. Make it smaller. Maybe you chose the wrong way. Try another way. Maybe you made a mistake. Learn from it. Nothing needs to be perfect. You only need to keep learning. This is why action is so important. Action changes questions into answers. You think, "Can I do this?" Try. Then you will know more. You think, "Will I get better?" Practice. Then you will see. You think, "What if I fail?" Maybe you will. Then you can learn and try again. Waiting gives you no answer. Action teaches you. So think about your own life. What have you been waiting to do? Maybe you want to improve your English. Maybe you want to take better care of your body. Maybe you want to save money. Maybe you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you want to begin a dream. Do not think about the whole road. The whole road may feel too long. Look at the next step. What is one thing you can do today? Choose it. Make it simple. Make it small. Then do it. Maybe no one will see your action. That is okay. You do not need people to see it. Maybe no one will say, "Good job." That is okay too. You are doing this for your life. Your small action matters even when no one sees it. A quiet beginning is still a beginning. 5 minutes still matter. One page still matters. One sentence still matters. Do not wait for a big moment. Use the small moment you have now. Maybe tomorrow will be easier. Maybe it will be harder. You do not know. But you have today. You have this moment. You have one small choice. Use it. And remember, you will not always feel motivated. Some mornings, you will feel ready. Other mornings, you will want to do nothing. Do not build your whole life on a feeling. Feelings change. Make your actions small enough to do on normal days. This can help you continue. You do not need to be amazing today. You do not need to finish everything. You only need to show up. Open the book. Put on your shoes. Write the first word. Take the first step. Then see what happens. Maybe you do more. Maybe you do not. Either way, you began. Be proud of that. You are learning a new way to live. Before you waited, now you begin. Before you looked for the perfect time, now you use the time you have. Before you needed confidence, now you build confidence through action. Before an excuse could stop your whole day, now you know how to make the action smaller. This does not mean every day will be easy. You will still have difficult days. You will still make excuses. You will still stop sometimes. But now you know something important. You can return. You can begin again. You can take another step. That power is always there. So do not look back and feel bad about all the time you lost. You cannot change yesterday, but you can use today. Do not worry too much about next year. Start with this day. Do not worry about 100 steps. Take one. Your life does not change because you thought about changing. It changes when thought becomes action. Small action. Real action. Action you can take today. So when your excuse says, tomorrow, answer with one small step today. When your excuse says, I am not ready, begin before you feel ready. When your excuse says, it is too hard, make the action smaller. And when you stop, come back, again and again. This is how you move forward. Not with a perfect life. Not with endless energy. Not with no fear. You move forward with what you have. A little time, a little courage. One small action. That is enough. You have waited long enough. You do not need another perfect plan. You do not need another excuse. Choose one thing. Make it small. And start today. Thank you for spending this time with English Owl. Keep learning. Keep moving. And remember, one small action is enough to begin. See you in the next story.